Hi everyone and welcome to today's Drama Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Let's get right to it. At the PCPD, Lulu and Dante apparently have moved into their new house, and she went to a flea market and picked out a whole bunch of stuff that could go in the baby's room. And Dante thinks it's a little premature because, you know, they haven't even gone through anything yet. And she's like, I'm just really trying to keep my mind off the DNA test. So she feels that the family she grew up with is fading away. And I'm like, me too, Lulu. Where's your brothers? Where's your dad? I don't like this. Bring them back. So he asked what else Lulu found at the flea market, and like they're just so cute. Basically, she found a dresser that needs refinishing, and he's like, yeah, you're not gonna want to do that if you're pregnant, so I guess I'm gonna wind up doing it. And she's like, oh, thanks for volunteering. And he's like, I don't know how to do that, I'm not a carpenter. They're really cute, and I'm so happy they found their way back to this. And then Lulu gets a call from the hospital, and it turns out her malaria test is negative, so she can start hormones. At the hospital, Tracy and Laura are there waiting for the DNA test, and they're confident that it won't be Luke, but Laura is a bit more worried than Tracy is. So Tracy offers her condolences for Nicholas, even though he was an adversary in the past years. She did work with him on a project and he was really good, and she acknowledges that. And Laura says that she feels bad for barging in on Tracy's engagement party back in the day, and Tracy's like, look, it was for the best. And then Laura asks Tracy if she's still in love with Luke. So Tracy says she hasn't been able to shake him yet, and I'm like, well, that's understandable. Like, you guys are pretty adorable together. So Laura talks about how she never really grew up until the past few years. You know, she always had a husband, or she was playing house, or she was raising kids, and just these past few years, it's been able to be about her, and she's been able to define herself. So the DNA test is ready. We're going to know for sure if it was Luke or not, and it's not a match. The bracelet did not belong to Luke. So Tracy thinks Laura is gearing up to find Luke, and she's ready to help any way she can and offer anything. And Laura says she's not going to go after him this time. In the parking garage, Franco is waiting for Elizabeth in the backseat of her car, which is super creepy and something I'm constantly afraid of. See, I'm the girl from Signs. Water everywhere. So he says he's sorry, he didn't mean to scare her. He didn't realize, and then he says he's really sorry because he didn't realize she was the one who defended him to the cops. And he makes her laugh, and he says he was scared because he thought she was doubting him, and like, you know, she let him go off like and act like an idiot, but like in a fun way, not like, oh, you let me do that. So she says, you know, what happened at the studio still bothers her even before the police came. She was uncomfortable, and she says, you know, for the most part she can look at him and see the person he is, but then something will happen that'll trigger the memories of who he was. And she doesn't think they should see each other anymore, and she knows how it's gonna go. Like, they're gonna wind up hurting each other. It's not gonna work, and they should stop before they hurt each other. And he says that, you know, she's beautiful to him. She's like his angel, and she makes him feel hope, and he thought that she can be someone who can look past the past. And she's like, look, you need to find salvation in yourself. I can't be the one to do that for you, because then it's really not going to work. At Perks of Coffee, Christina is kind of a bit drunk and is leaving a voicemail for Parker, and it's not good. And Molly winds up taking her phone and throwing it into the bushes. So Christina tells Molly that Alexis told Parker to break up with her, and she says that she's just done, and she hopes Alexis loses her license and gets the book thrown at her, and she's like out of it, right? So Christina feels that Molly is taking Alexis aside when Molly tries to, you know, be more neutral about the whole thing. And Molly says, look, Christina, you're spiraling right now, and you've been spiraling. So Molly says Parker was using her and she doesn't care about her, and then Christina says Molly judges her and enjoys her screw-ups because it makes her look better. So Christina also is like, you know what, Molly, you're going to wake up one day with the perfect husband and the perfect house and the perfect picket fence and the perfect 2.5 kids, and, you know, realize that you've never lived a day in your life, and you'll come to me and I'll pity you. And Molly's like, you're really mean. So Molly tells Christina that she always picks the wrong choice. She always picks the ones that hurt her most. And then Christina yells at Molly to leave and then starts crying. And Molly originally does leave, and then she comes back and hugs her. At Alexis's hearing, Alexis and Diane are waiting to give closing arguments, and it doesn't sound good, to be quite honest with you. Apparently Lomax has a statement against Alexis, and Paul wrote in, you know, like just what Alexis did for them, but also what she did prior to that, so that doesn't help. And so when before closing statements are about to start, Olivia comes in and she'd like to make a statement in person. So they'll hear her out, and she says that they're all being played. Lomax has a grudge against Alexis, and she tells the whole story of, you know, when Lomax went after her because she was breastfeeding, and how Alexis fought for her, and how Lomax has had it out for her since then. And Olivia says that, look, Alexis defended Carlos Rivera without compromising the case. You know, Alexis made an honest mistake, and Lomax is using them as a tool against Alexis for revenge. So Alexis would like to speak on her own behalf as well. She speaks about how there was no justice when she was growing up. Her mother was murdered in front of her. Nobody ever paid for that crime. And she wanted to seek justice for others, because no justice was ever given in her life. So she says, you know, the Carlos case was a gray area. Carlos chose not to disclose Julian's involvement. It wasn't by her pressuring, it was his decision, and her desire to protect her husband had no bearing because Carlos had no interest in turning on Julian. So she says she can and will do better if she's given the chance to try. And then they're like, all right, we'll take all this into consideration. And Alexis thanks Olivia, and she apologizes to Olivia for going behind her back and basically bringing Leo into Julian's life. And Olivia, like, they both make peace with it, and the committee has reached their decision. Olivia has since left, though. So they started out talking about how she's a model for a defense attorney, and the board, they can't see past the fact that she didn't make the necessary disclosures, and they can't allow her to continue practicing law in the state of New York. Diane jumps to her defense, possibly talking about an appeal, but they're like, wait. Hold up a second, 1 second. We aren't moving to disbar. They're just suspending her license indefinitely for at least a year, and in a year they'll all reconvene, and based on her conduct, they'll reconvene and make a decision whether she can have her license back or if they're going to disbar her permanently. Back at the PCPD, Lulu gets the news that it's not her dad. Her dad is alive, or at least not dead in the catacombs of Windermere. Not Windermere, Cassadine Island. So she and Dante hug. Olivia comes in and gets the news, and then they tell her how they got the go-ahead to continue with their second pregnancy. She's excited about having a granddaughter, and Dante and Lulu look at each other like, what? So she says that last night she had a gut instinct that she has a granddaughter out there somewhere. And I'm all here for Psychic Olivia. I really am. I hope Leo gets the psychicness. I really, really do, because it's just such a fun thing to have around. At the Metro Court, Alexis doesn't know what to do with herself for the next year, basically, and she and Diane have drinks. And now end scene. So Olivia is super confident that they're going to have a girl, and they're excited for the possibility. Laura has people in Port Charles, and she doesn't feel like it's her place to get Luke anymore. And she tells Tracy that if she still loves him, she should go after him. But like in a nice way, not in a like a way, you know? So Tracy calls Luke. She says she doesn't need details where he is, just to know he's okay. Elizabeth says that Franco can find salvation in his art to keep painting. He says he will, and then he kisses her on the cheek. And then Elizabeth, I think she's very torn, you know? Diane and Alexis have lots and lots of drinks. Diane promises she'll get through this, and Alexis sees Christina hasn't answered her and orders more drinks even after Diane leaves, and is under the impression that Alexis is going to leave. Molly tells Christina she looks up to her. Parker wasn't worth it if she didn't make Christina feel like she was worth everything in the world. And then Christina takes Molly home, and Parker is calling back, but Christina's phone is still in the bushes, so she does not see that. Alright, that is it for today's General Hospital recap. I will see you tomorrow on time. Yes, Thursday's going to be on time today. Is it Wednesday? I don't know what day it is. It's just that kind of week where I don't know the day. So real fast, I announced yesterday that I will, in all likeliness, have someone taking over for me while I'm gone, August 31st to September 7th. That possibility is around 73-27, I think it was at, but we're at 73% that it's gonna happen. So if you're excited about the possibility of my mom doing recaps, leave a comment to let her know how excited and how happy that'd make you, and maybe we can bump that up to 90 or 95. She's excited about doing trivia. So if you watch General Hospital Trivia with my mom, make sure you let her know so she knows that y'all looking forward to that. And I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. I hope you have a great day. Bye.